Hello everyone and welcome to my art table. This doesn't really look like a tarot video for me. I'm usually at my desk with all the black surface and my candle lit and everything else. But this morning I watched my favorite tarot tuber, Simon. He had a new video, and it was called Get to Know Your Tarot Tubers, and it's a prompt, next generation. And I watched and I just had such a good time listening, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to do a video response to Simon's prompt. And so this is my Get to Know Your Tarot Tubers Next Generation. And I thought that I would paint while I'm answering. I'm going to start just painting in my sketchbook with some beam paints, one of my favorite paints. And I just kind of swatch and paint, and then I'll probably move to some paper after that. So I'm just going to begin. And this is, there are 26 prompts from A to Z, so obviously alphabetical, and I'm just going to begin. So the first one for A is author. Who is your favorite author? And that is a really unfair question to me because I'm above everything else a writer, and I'm actually a published writer, and I read all the time, and I have so many favorite authors. But I'll tell you, one of my very favorites for my whole life was E.B. White, who wrote Charlotte's Web. I absolutely loved E.B. White, and I still reread that book every year. It is probably my favorite book of my life, and there's just something about it that I love so much. And so E.B. White would be one of them. John Steinbeck is a writer that I have returned to over and over again over the years. I don't know why exactly. I think the beauty of the language, but also some of the characters and the beauty of the stories. I wouldn't say they are my favorite books though, although Travels with Charlie is right up there. I really love that book. But lately, one of the authors that I've really enjoyed and that I've read quite a bit of is Elizabeth Strout. And I don't know if you know her or not. She wrote a book called Olive Kitteridge, which she won the Pulitzer Prize for. But she's also written so many other amazing, amazing books. And I appreciate her beautiful use of the language. She writes really nice sentences that are kind to the reader. Nothing is complicated. You don't need a dictionary. I appreciate those things. And there's a really clear truth to what she writes. I feel like I'm being told the truth, and I don't know. I just really appreciate her stories. They're profound in many ways. So Elizabeth Strout would be my favorite. B is your biggest regret. And interestingly, I don't believe in regrets. I really don't. I've made so many mistakes in my life. So many. And some were really, really big ones. But if I hadn't made them, everything would be different, and I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting right now. I wouldn't have the life that I have right now. And I love my life. And I don't know, I can't look at anything except with gratitude at this point. Yeah, so I don't really believe in regrets. I think the only thing we can regret is what we don't do that we really want to do, unless it's harmful to someone else. I really believe in trying whatever your heart is set on. So no regrets. C, car. What do you listen to the most? I listen to podcasts. I sometimes will listen to Audible books. I'm not very good at it because I'm a dreamy kind of person, and sometimes in the car, especially if I'm paying attention to the road, or which I should be, I might not hear everything, and so I feel like, how do I want to say it? I feel like I might not remember something, and so that I get lost in the story, and it's really no good for me. So every now and then, especially if I'm taking a really long drive, I might listen to an Audible book. I love Audible books, but they don't always work for me. So mostly I listen to podcasts, and they're just really varied. Whatever I'm interested in the moment, I'll seek out a podcast about it, and I'll listen. And I do drive a lot because my daughter, I babysit once a week, and I drive to her house, which is, an hour and a half of driving. So I have plenty of time to listen. I used to listen to music, and every now and then I will, or if I'm with my husband, we'll listen to music. But mostly when I am by myself, I listen to podcasts. I'm learning. D, divination tool other than the tarot. I don't do a lot of divination. I don't really use tarot for divination. I've talked about this before. I have in the past. It's not typically why I use tarot. I use tarot as a tool for self-reflection, and very much it's just about the here and now, and it helps me make decisions. It gives me new ideas. I don't know. It's not really a divination tool for me. But one thing that I do really love are my runes. I have 2 sets of runes. Actually, I have 3 sets of runes. Runes, for some reason, I'm really attracted to them. And I think, this might sound really strange, but I think it's because of my ancestry and where my ancestors were from. And runes were a big part of their world. And so I have 3 sets. I have a set of stones that was hand carved by a woman in Portland, Oregon. And then I have 2 sets that were made by a woman that lives near the Arctic Sea. And that is really special to me because that is very much where my ancestors were from, some of them. And so I have a set that was made out of seashells from the Arctic Ocean, which is pretty special. And then I have some that were made from the sheds of reindeer. And the reindeer is one of my spirit animals. And did you know that the reindeer in the Arctic, it's the females who have the antlers? And I didn't know that because I used to dream, and I used to have visions of this white deer with antlers, but it was a female. It was clearly a female, and so I never quite understood, because here, our deer, it's the males who get the antlers. But in the legends and the folklore, there's the reindeer mother too, and that being has become very important to me as well. So runes, long answer for a short answer. E is for eat. What would you eat as your last meal? That is super easy. I would eat macaroni and cheese, and a lot of it. I love macaroni and cheese, and I don't eat it very often because it's not really on the list of foods that's good for me these days. But it is my very favorite food of my whole life, and that's what I would have. And it doesn't even matter what kind. I love it all. Fears. Do you have any? What are they? Irrational or rational? I do. I am very, very afraid of being in an enclosed space. I have claustrophobia, plain and simple. It's really hard for me to be on an airplane, for instance. I get really claustrophobic from airplanes, and I can't have an MRI. I had an MRI once, and I had a full-blown panic attack within 30 seconds of being in the machine. I don't know. I don't like being in enclosed spaces where I can't run free. Another one is I'm really, really afraid of black ice. I had a very bad fall on black ice where I had a concussion that actually I got blood in my mouth. I passed out. I saw stars. It was pretty bad. And ever since, I I have been terrified whenever I go outside and there's black ice. I pretty much go home. I really can't handle it. And I've got special things for my shoes that do help a little bit, but I'm still very, very anxious when I'm anywhere outside where there's black ice. I'm not afraid of any animal or bug or anything simple like that, but it's mostly enclosed spaces and black ice. I also have a fear of fire, and not being able to get my loved ones and animals to safety. My favorite game to play is probably, I love to play the card game Hearts. Do you all know that? It's a really fun game, and I used to play with my grandma, and we had a great time playing Hearts. So yeah, that's my favorite game. Holiday, what's your favorite time of the year? I don't really have a favorite holiday. I love birthdays. I'm not a holiday person. I'm not a Christmas person. I'm not a Easter person. I'm not any of, Thanksgiving, anything. I don't know. What happens on those holidays is I often feel really heartsick for those people who aren't happy on holidays. And it just sometimes feels like a whole lot of expectations that make it difficult for so many people, and I just feel like we'd be better off if we didn't have them, because I'm just one of those people that hopes that everyone is happy and feeling not happy, like happiness happy, but feeling okay, right? And holidays can be so hard. So my favorite holiday is actually birthdays. I love birthdays, and I love my own birthday. I get, as someone who had 2 bouts with life-threatening illnesses, birthdays are pretty magical, and I'm all about them. So interest someone might not know about you. So something that I'm interested in, I don't really know. I guess that I'm a writer. I mean, a lot of people don't know that about me. That's what I'm doing. I'm actually working on finishing a novel right now, and I've been working on a really long time. And I'm hopeful that it gets done. And it's hard, it's hard when you have a full-time job that's actually way more than full-time, and to find the time to do it. But you know what? It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as I keep working. And that's what I do. And so I'm getting there. So that would be one that most people, I think, don't know about me. Joy, something that brings you joy. My granddaughter brings me joy. She makes me laugh all the time. That's all I can say. She brings me a lot of joy. Okay, what would you sing on a karaoke night? My favorite thing to sing are Joni Mitchell songs. And so I think I'd probably sing a Joni Mitchell song. That's my favorite. And I think I have sung Joni Mitchell karaoke before. I've also sung B-52's karaoke, and that's kind of fun. It's really fun, actually. So for sure, Joni Mitchell, maybe some B-52s. This is pretty. Aren't those beautiful colors? Just love them. It's very overcast today, so it's not real bright in here. But you can see, so pretty. Pretty, huh? Yeah. I'm gonna let that dry and do some watercolor paper. So karaoke, okay, onward. Elle, what makes you laugh the most? My granddaughter truly makes me laugh. She really does. She's very funny. And I think she tries to be funny, like she could be an actress or comedian someday. She's super funny. And my husband, my sweetheart, he makes me laugh, and he doesn't even know it. I mean, he doesn't even try. Just the way he says things sometimes, and he has such a great sense of humor, and he says these little things that make me stop and think and then laugh at the same time. So those are the things that make me laugh the most. M is for movie. One you love and you could watch over and over and over again. Well, I'm not a movie person. I, there have been a few that I've seen in my life that I really, really loved. And one of them, I can tell you, that I really, really loved was out of Africa. And I don't know why. And you know what? I haven't seen it in years. And so, quite honestly, at this point, I may not feel the same about it. I really don't know. But it's funny. I'm just not a movie person. So I'm a book person. I just am. N is for nature. Where in nature do you feel most connected? Well, that's very simple. In my own backyard. I am really lucky. I live on really on about 640 acres of fields and woodlands and wetlands and ponds and little streams, and it's so beautiful. And like some days when I'm walking, it feels like I'm in England, and that or Ireland. And I've never been to Scotland, but I imagine that will be my next favorite place. But those are my soul lands, you know, where my soul feels at home. And so, yeah, definitely my own backyard. When I'm in my own backyard or walking here, I feel like I'm in my home. Like I have different places that feel like different rooms in my house. It's just, yeah. The other place where I feel that way, besides Ireland and England, is the Adirondacks in New York State. I love the Adirondacks, and I feel, I feel very much at home there. Okay, and I feel very connected. So, easy. O is for optimistic. What are your hopes for the future? Oh, well, my biggest hope is for tolerance and understanding between people. That people love the world enough and love whom they love enough to want peace. And to love is everything. And I just hope that people start to understand that their love and how they treat what they love is our future. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I want my hope for the future also is that all people feel loved and have someone to love, because I think that makes a big difference too. So it's pretty simple. My wishes are pretty simple. I want people to love and be loved, and to love the world so much, and to love those that they love so much that they want to take exquisite care of it, and they want to have peace, and they want to get along. P, pip deck, your favorite pip deck. Oh, that's, I don't really have one. I guess it would be probably the Wild Unknown, which all of you know. And then I also have this one that's an old Italian deck. It's very beautiful, but I don't even know the name of it, and I don't even have it here. Yeah, I would have to say the Wild Unknown. To me, it's a pip deck, and I just love it. I don't use the deck very often, but I really do love it. And it was one of the very first decks that I bought. I had used the Rider-Waite-Smith deck for years and years and years, and it was one of the very first decks that I bought that wasn't Rider-Waite-Smith. So that's something in itself, right? So I would say the Wild Unknown. Okay. Q, quality time. What do you consider being quality time spent? Um, I like all of my time. I think it's all quality time, but for me, that really means to be present and aware of what's around me, being present. I don't care what I'm doing. If I have a presence and an awareness of what's around me, I feel happy and content, and I feel like that's quality time. I think also it's always quality time when we're doing something that makes someone else happy and makes ourselves happy, right? So for me, it's pretty easy. I don't think too hard about that. I try to make all time quality time. I really, really do. Oh, I love this gold. That's gorgeous. Okay, so after Q comes our reincarnation. If you could be reborn in any time period, when would that be and why? Gosh, that's so hard. One of my favorite time periods, I think I would want to go back to a time when women, it was a matriarchal society, I think. I would like to be able to experience that. And but then I'd want to bring back what I learned, you know what I mean? So I think back to a matriarchal society, to society before we had a lot of war. It did exist at one time. But then I also think it would be fascinating to go to the future, at a time maybe to meet my great-grandchildren, if I have them. That might be really wonderful too. S is for sacred. What's sacred to you? Love is sacred to me. The love that I have for my sweetheart, for my children, for my parents, for my brother, for my family, and a few dear friends. That is sacred to me. T is for tarot. Your current favorite deck. Well, I'm going to show you. Let me just put this aside for a minute. I'm going to show you my current favorite deck. And there's two of them, and they're always together. And they're fairly new to me. This one isn't as new to me, but this one is. And I learned about this deck from Simon. It's called the Fifth Spirit Tarot, and it's by Charlie Claire Burgess. And ever since, well, when I first saw it on Simon's channel, I fell in love with it. And ever since I bought it and had it in my hands, it is the deck I pick up every single day. This is my deck now. For years and years and years, that was the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and it still is. It still is, but I barely touch it. And that's weird. I barely touch anything except for this deck. And I don't know, it just works for me. It is a very inclusive deck, which I really, really love. There are people in here that look like me. Like, my very favorite card is the Star card in this deck. I don't know. And it's just everyday things that I relate to. And I read this deck so, so well. I love this Eight of Pentacles. I love this Five of Cups. I love this Eight of Cups. I love every card in this deck. I get different types of readings from it. Isn't that great? That magpie. Seven of Swords. So I love the Hierophants. Let me find my favorite card though. When I saw this card, I love this Death card. When I saw this card, I just couldn't believe it. Great World card too. Watch it be the very last card as usual. Here she is, the Star. And I love the Two of Swords. I love. This is one of my favorite cards in all of tarot. And this one just speaks to me so, so much. Okay, so this is the Star. And that could be me. That could be me. I had breast cancer. I've had a mastectomy. I've got rolls on my belly. Um, that could be me sitting there, and it makes me look beautiful. I see myself as beautiful when I see this card. And this card, when I get this card in a reading, I know exactly what I need for myself. And it speaks so clearly to me. And it's going to say something different to everyone. But this card is magnificent. So the Fifth Spirit Tarot is my favorite tarot deck. This guidebook, I usually don't even read the guidebooks, but I read this one. I still read it. It's remarkable. It's so real. It's so honest. It's so down to earth. It's so practical. I love everything about this guidebook. It's brilliant to me. So the other deck is this one. It's called the Roots and Wings Oracle deck, and I always loved it, but it didn't really come to life for me until I paired it with the Fifth Spirit, and I'm going to show you that really quickly. It comes with a very simple guidebook, which you don't even need. You don't need it. So when I do a reading, I can't shuffle. My hands just don't shuffle. So it doesn't matter to me. I just move the cards around and pick one. So I usually pick this card first and I put it down. All right, this one says perseverance, which is all you need to know with the image there. All right, and then and then I'll pick 2 cards from the tarot deck on either side of it. And I'll tell you what, this card, these cards work so beautifully together. The I don't know, the line work, the artwork, the gentleness of them, the clarity of them, they work so beautifully together. And so they're always together for me. And that's my favorite. And I can't see it changing anytime soon. Let me just show you a few more of these too. Passage, good fortune, mystery, the magician, held, potential. As a watercolorist, I just adore these. So you can just get a flavor of these lovely gentle cards. Strength. So there's some in here that are like the major arcana also. Union, mother, hope, seasons. So you can see that you don't need a guidebook for these. But she has one, just in case. Just a little simple one. It's very nice. Okay, so unforgettable moment. For me, that's easy. I have 2 of them. The moments that, well, 3 really. The moments that I held my children for the first time. The smell of them. I don't know. There's nothing more unforgettable than that for me. So it might be boring, but that's just the truth. Okay, vacation, my favorite destination. Well, practically that would be probably the Adirondacks. That's practically. But if I didn't have to be practical, I would say anywhere in the British Isles or Ireland is my favorite. Especially all the archipelagos around. I mean, I dream of going to Fair Isle and Shetland and the Orkneys and the Isle of Skye for my 60th birthday and just staying there for weeks. That's my dream. So that would be my destination. No place too hot, that's for sure. I don't like the heat. I'm not a summer person. W's for well-being. What do you do to keep it in check? You're looking at it. Painting is my way of keeping it in check. Walking is another way. Reading, meditation. This is a form of meditation to me. So, yeah, that's my way of keeping it in check. X-ray. Have you ever had a broken bone? I've had so many x-rays, I can't even, it's like scary how many x-rays I've had. And yes, I've had broken bones. Why is yourself? When can you feel totally comfortable in your own skin? When I'm in the bathtub. The bathtub is that's another sacred thing for me, the bath. My bathtub time is my sacred time as a person. And I need it. In fact, when I travel, if I don't have a bathtub, I have a really hard time with that. So for me, I don't know why, I need that water. I need to be immersed in water. And yeah, that's it. Z is for zodiac. What star sign are you? Do you feel a connection with it? So I don't look at in terms of star signs. I look at it in terms of your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And I'm a Taurus sun. I absolutely feel connected to it. I'm a Cancer moon, which I couldn't be any more Cancer moon, and I'm a Scorpio rising, and I couldn't be any more of that either. I have 0 planets in any air or fire signs. Everything is earth and water, and that's pretty clear, I think. I think it's pretty clear that is how I roll. So yeah, I totally feel connected to my natal chart, to my astrology. Yeah. Okay, that's it. A to Z. So I hope that you'll try this. And I need to do another tarot video soon. I haven't done many videos lately. I've just been really just busy with life and grandchildren and things like that. So, but I'll be back. I'll be making some soon. And the other part of it is that I just keep using the same decks. And so I'm not really into new decks or anything like that. I'm not going to buy any, that's for sure. I'm just pretty happy. I feel really content where I am. And yeah, I don't know. I think it might be interesting to do a series on that, on being content with very few decks and the ones that you go back to over and over again, and maybe even just one, and what that's like to just be with one. I'm sure people have done it, but yeah, I'm so content with what my practice right now that I don't really feel the need to explore too much. And I haven't even watched a lot of tarot videos, and I used to all the time. But when Simon has a new one, I watch it. Thank you, Simon, for this prompt. And thank you all if you made it through this far. I congratulate you. And I hope you'll do one too. Take care.